Hi there, Glenn VK4NGA here. Well, you've got your MD380 and you need a code plug. You've probably borrowed a couple of code plugs off different people, and maybe you've been lucky enough to get one that does everything that you need. But ideally, what you really need to do is to custom build your own code plug or modify somebody else's code plug to suit what you're doing and what your needs are, because everybody's needs are different. So today, along with you, we're going to build a code plug live. I'm not going to edit this, so we're just going to build it live, and mistakes and all. So I normally build code plugs in stages, but I'm going to have a go today, and we're just going to completely build a code plug from scratch. This video is going to take a while, maybe 20 minutes, but it'll show you the basics of how the code plug goes together and what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, so the basic information screens here, that's just from the last read of the radio. So we go into general settings. I don't change anything here except you put in you can put in your radio name. I've put in my call sign, but that's not necessary. You can just give the radio name if you like. Your radio ID, which is your DMR ID, that's really important to get that right. That's got to be absolutely correct, otherwise you won't be seen on the network. Coming down here, the default will be, when you open the code plug software, the default will be picture, so change that to character string, and you can put whatever you like in here. I've put in here DMR and just my name, but you can swap that around, do whatever you like there. It doesn't affect the operation of the radio. Okay, so menu item, have a look there. I don't change anything in there, just leave it as it is. The buttons, for some reason it takes a little while to open this, but we'll be patient and it'll open. Okay, there we go. The only thing you probably need to consider in here is you can see I've set side button 1. You can choose from any of the menu options. I've set it to scan on off. Side button 1 long press, so you got short press here, long press here. So long press I've set it to monitor. Side button 2 short press I've set to high low power, and long press to manual dial for private. But again, you can just do what you like in here. It's completely user friendly. Here I haven't set any one-touch access keys or any number keys for quick contact access, but you can do that. Maybe after you build your code plug and you've used it for a while, you can come back and activate all that. Okay, text messaging. There's just a default text message in there. I've never done text messaging on DMR, so I'm yet to have a look at that. So we won't set anything up in here today. This is just going to be a basic code plug. Privacy setting, again, I don't even know what all that means, so we'll just leave that alone. Digital emergency system, I don't believe that we use that for amateur radio, so we just leave that. Digital contacts. Okay, so there's no contacts in here at the moment. So what we need to do is create some contacts, and basically what goes in the digital contacts are your talk groups and also the DMR database, if you choose to later on import that in using MD380 tools, which are available off the net. So today we're going to set up, we'll just use this contact 1, we're going to call that talk group 91. So that's the worldwide talk group. Group call is correct. ID is 91. We'll leave that set to no. Then we create another one, add. We'll go here, we'll go talk group 3100. which is the USA nationwide talk group, and we'll put in 3100 here. We'll add another one. We might put in here TG505, which is the Australian Brandmeister calling channel, chat channel. So we'll put in 505. We'll add another one. We'll call this one TAC 310, which is the USA, one of the USA talk groups, a very popular one. So here 310, and we might put in one more. We'll put in TG235, which is 235 here, and that's the UK talk group. Okay, so that'll do for now. We'll get out of there. Now, digital receive group lists, whatever we put in digital contacts, we need to mimic that in the group list for receive. And I forgot one here. We'll add one more, which will be, because I'm going to set this up for running into a hotspot, the open spot, we need talk group 9, because the open spot communicates with the radio on talk group 9, so we need to add that in. So I forgot that one. Now back to this, your receive group list, we need to have all of these, the first 5, we need to mimic those in the receive group lists. Here they all are here, so we'll call this one, first one, why is it 91 there? It's interesting. Okay, we'll just go back here. Okay, receive group list. 91's over there, that's why. Okay, so we'll call this one TG91, and 91's in there, so talk group 91 has talk group 91 in there only. We'll add another one. We'll call this one TG3100, and we'll put 3100 in there. We'll add another one. We'll call this, you can see over here, they're starting to populate here. We'll call this one TG505. We'll add 505. And we'll add another one. TAC 310. Put 310 in there. And I think we're done. As soon as you close out, it automatically saves everything. I recommend that you save this along the way as you go. Just touch the save button just to keep everything right. So we'll just make sure we've got that correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go in there, not 9. We don't need to put 9 in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I missing? 91, 3100, 505, 235. I didn't put 235 in. Okay. So we'll hit add TG235. Okay, so they're all there. The reason we do that is you want a receive group assigned to a talk group in your channels, which I'll show you a bit later. Otherwise, when you're working the radio, if somebody is having a QSO, say on 3100, and you're listening to it, and you want to, on your hotspot, and you want to change talk groups while the QSO is running, if you don't have separate receive groups, what's going to happen is as you try and use your buttons on the radio to disconnect from that talk group and swap talk groups, the radio won't let you do it. So this is why we have separate receive groups and not just one big receive group with everything in it. That's the difference, and particularly for repeater operation, it's a must. Okay, so we've got contacts in there, we've got receive group in there, receive group lists. Zones, we can't do anything there yet because we haven't created any channels. Same with scan list. There's no channels in there to put across to build a scan list. So what we've got to do next is create a channel. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create some channels for Brandmeister network with a hotspot. So we'll go in here, we'll close that, double click that, we'll set up our first channel. So it's already on digital. Nothing to change here except scan list. We're not going to select that yet, we'll have to come back and select those when we're finishing off our code plug. The first thing we're going to do here is set the power to low because we're going to be talking to our hotspot, so we don't want high power into the hotspot. So we'll rename the channel from the default channel 1. So we'll call this BM for Brandmeister. TG 91, and we'll put in our hotspot frequency, so 439.125. Again the same, 439.125. You have to check your band plan in your country to see which frequencies are available for hotspots. In Australia, where I am, that's one of the frequencies that we can use. Admit criteria, always set that to always for best operation of the radio. Don't need to do anything here. Same with these, leave these unchecked. Emergency system none. Contact name, we want it 91 for 91 here. This is the channel for talk group 91. Group list, that should say receive or RX group list because that's what we're looking at. So again we select 91, color code 1 is correct, repeater slot needs to be 2 for Brandmeister, privacy none, and that's our first channel created. So you can see it's here already, it's already saved, so we'll click add, come across to here, right click, copy, click on that, right click, paste, and what happens then is all of your data from your previous channel is already here. So all we need to do for the next channel is rename it. So we'll call this BMTG3100. Frequencies are correct, low power is right. So we just need to select 3100 for these two, for the contact talk group and the receive group. Color code 1, slot 2 is correct. Okay, so it makes adding channels quicker. And we just add again, and here we go, we're populating this. So we'll go the same again, we'll paste in there, come along here, BMTG505. Everything is right there, so I'll select here 505, 505, and we'll add a new one. Right click, paste, change the channel name to BMTG. What do we need to go next? Let's just open this up. So I'm not relying on anything, so 91 3100 505 TAC 310. 0. Okay, that's done, and the next one will be 235. So again, we just left click, then right click, paste, everything goes in here. Come along here, MD380 select 235. Okay, I think we're right. We need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, remember this is Brandmeister we're setting up, and we're setting up the channels for Brandmeister only at this stage, so we can create a Brandmeister zone. So the next thing to do is to come in here and go into the zone. You can see that they're available. So we'll call this zone Brandmeister. Hope I'm spelling that correctly. I'm sure you guys will let me know. And we're going to, 91's already in there, we're going to put all of these in there. So now we have a Brandmeister zone, and in that zone is talk group 91, 3100, 505, tax 310 and 235. So we're looking at worldwide is 91, USA nationwide, Australia nationwide, USA 310, which is very popular, and UK nationwide. Okay, so we'll close that. We're well on our way. So we've got our first zone set up. What we need to do next is create some, let me think now, we'll create some repeater channels. We'll create a zone for repeater work. So let's think about DMR local repeater. So you want to choose your local repeater. So the first thing we need to do is to add in any digital contacts, any talk groups that you want to use on the repeater. So in this case, I'm going to set up an Australian repeater, and I'm going to use talk group 505, but I need to add another one in, and that needs to be talk group 38. It's not working. Here we go. TG3809. There's lots more to add in, but we're just going to create a couple, create an extra one, and we'll use a couple in this next part of the code plug. So we'll be using 505 and 3809, and I'll show you how to set that up now. So the same with, now we've created the digital contact, we've also got to add, we added a talk group, we've got to add 3809 into the receive group. So we'll close out of there. Right click, add. And we want to call this TG3809. We want to put 3809 in it, so these have to match. Okay, we'll close out of there, and there it is. So we've created a digital contact for 3809 to add to our talk group list, and we've got the receive group that matches. Okay, so now we're going to build a couple of channels for the repeater. So we right click, add, come into this channel that we just added, and we'll just click on this one, and we'll right click, copy the data from that, right click, paste it into this one. So this channel is going to be different though, because we want to go to high power because it's a repeater channel. So we want the radio to transmit high power, and the frequencies are going to be different too. So we'll call this the local repeater here, VK4RNX 505. So we're going to add in torque group 505. So we're on high power, we've got that in. The frequency, again you need to just look up your local repeater frequencies and put them in. So I can't remember the frequency, but we're going to put something different in there. So we'll say 438500. Put the decimal in and help. And again, we're going to put in the offset. Okay, so we've got the offset here, receive there, offset to transmit, admit criteria always, so everything is correct here, except we now have to find 505 because we're building a channel for the local repeater on torque group 505, and the receive group is 505. Color code 1 is correct, repeater slot 2 is correct for this one. In your area you're going to have to look up your repeater's color code that it uses. There's all different color codes and available in the drop down as you see. So you always make sure you get that right. Repeater slot 2, and that's it for that one. So we'll create another one. So we'll right click, copy that, right click, paste the data into that one. So we'll call this one VK4RNX, and we want to go to 3809. So the frequencies are correct, the high power is correct. We still haven't put our scan lists in, but remember we've got to come back and do that. So that's 3809, so we've got to select torque group 3809 for both the contact and the receive. Now, this is a bit different here. Torque group 3809 on my local repeater is time slot 1. We're going to change that. Okay. Now we can come back and add another zone, because we're going to put those channels somewhere so the radio sees them. So we create that zone, we call this VK4RNX, which is the local repeater, and we come along here and we're going to put in torque group 505 and torque group 3809. You can see they're available now, we just added them. And the order that you put them in is the order the radio will see them. So be careful when you're doing this not to be too quick here and order them incorrectly, or put them in the correct order you want the radio to operate in. So 505 is the calling channel, so I want that to be at the top of the list. 3809 is the next one. Okay, you can see that we've created a zone for the local repeater. Okay, so we're really moving along here. Now we need to put in a local analog repeater, because of course this radio does analog as well as digital. So we come down to the channels and right click, add, double click on the channel, and here it is here. So we're going to change this to analog. We'll call this one local 70. Now you can just, I'll just call it local 70, but you can put in whatever your local repeater is called. And we'll put the frequency in, so receive frequency and transmit frequency. Try again. So the offset goes in, power's high, nothing to change here. Scan list we can't put in yet. CTCSS encode, we want to change that to 91.5 for this repeater. I don't change anything else in here, and that's it. So now we have a local 70, but we don't have that added in to the zone. So we come back to the zone, add that, double click on the zone, we'll call that 70 centimeter repeaters. And over here we'll put in our local 70. Okay, we're very close to having a complete code plug. So now in our, we'll just minimize some of these. Now here in the zones we have a zone for Brandmeister, which talks to the hotspot. We have a local repeater which goes high output out of the radio, RF straight into the repeater, and we have a local 70 centimeter analog repeater in here. We might rename that to 70 centimeter analog. Okay, now we've got to go back and create our scan lists. So we'll double click on that. So we'll call this scan list Brandmeister. Because we want the scan list to mimic the zones. So in the Brandmeister scan list we want to bring in talk group 91's there. We want to bring in 3100, 505, TAC 310, 235, and that's it. Now we add a new one and we call that one VK4RNX. And we want to bring in the VK4RNX talk groups or channels. So 505 3809, so that's that list done. We add another one and we want to put in, call this one 70 centimeter analog. And we just want to bring in our local 70. Now obviously it won't scan much because there's only one channel in there, but as you fill this list up it'll work. Okay, so that's our scan list built. Now we come back into channels and we just go through our channels and assign a scan list to each of them. So we've got the 3 in there, so we click Brandmeister, move it along. No, that's not right. Scan list for 3100, which is still Brandmeister. 505, which is Brandmeister. TAC 310, Brandmeister. Brandmeister as well. Now this is our repeater channels. So we want to put this one to our repeater. So this matches VK4RNX. Same with 3809. We want to put in VK4RNX, so we're going to match here. Local 70, we'll just put in 70 centimeter analog. Okay, so there you go. Together we've built a code plug. We'll just have a look in here. So we've got our list of digital contacts, which is our talk group list. We've got our receive group list, which mimics those 5, 6. Then we've got the zone list, which is Brandmeister, which talks to our hotspot. This talks to our local repeater. And this talks to our local 70 centimeter analog repeater. Now, how this works is what you see in the radio primarily is not much of this. You see the zones, and behind those zones is, behind each zone are the channels that you've built, and behind the channel is the talk group and the receive group and the scan list. We've built the scan list, so we've got the 3 scan lists in here which matches the zones, and then you've got all of the channels, which eventually gets pretty messy because as you add to them they're not in any kind of order, and you can't really put them in any kind of order. So eventually this is just going to fill up with a whole lot of stuff, different channels you build, and you'll have to go along and select them into the various zones that you want to put them into and the scan lists. So okay, well I think we're done. I didn't hit save along the way, did I? Done it now. So there you go. It's fairly straightforward. If you copy what I've done, you'll have a successful code plug. And the biggest part of code plug building is understanding what does what. So just to recap, digital contacts are your talk groups and also your list from the DMR IDs, which is people's name, call sign and DMR ID number, which you can import and it'll go in here on top of that. I think with a firmware update on this radio, I don't own one of these radios, so I only had a little play with a couple that I've borrowed, but I think you can update the firmware to expand the amount of digital contacts that the radio will hold, so you get more of the DMR database in there. But this is where that'll go, into the digital contacts. Your receive group list, don't forget to match these contacts with your receive groups. The zones, whatever you want to create. If you remove a zone from the radio, it doesn't delete the channels or the talk groups, it just takes the zone off the radio, so the radio doesn't see that zone. So don't think that if you remove a zone that you're going to delete any vital information. That won't happen. Scan lists again here, and then you've got your channels here, which need to be carefully named so you can identify which one. These are Brandmeister channels, these are local repeater channels, and this is a local analog channel. Okay, well that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that helps you build your own code plug, or add to an existing code plug, or convert a code plug that somebody sent you. Hope to catch you on air soon. This is VK4NGA.